What's up?
Hey, buddy.
What's going on? All right, today we got your orthotics.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
We got one for your regular everyday shoe, and then we got one for your cleats. So the main difference is with the regular shoe, we were able to get higher impact because you have consistent walking when you do your everyday things, and with the cleats you have a lot of lateral movement. And we're working with pressure, right? And the pressure is way higher if we do activities like football for you.
Yeah.
And so that's why we go a little lower with the corrections on the cleats. We have a thinner orthotic, if you compare that here to your everyday shoe. And also because we scanned the insoles of every shoe, we can see that the orthotic that is for your cleats are a little bit more narrow and a little shorter. Just because we scanned it, we can determine that. All right, let's start with your everyday shoe, I would say.
All right. I like that red.
Yeah. So what's also different with our orthotics, we don't just put something under your arch and then your arch can't move anymore. We keep freedom of movement to every joint and give you little impacts and impulses that activate your muscles to pull up your arch. And so over here is the first one, the second one, and then maybe take some steps and let me know how you feel.
Oh, it's like having new feet.
These like new feet.
Yeah,
No more soreness.
No, I like it. It gives you a little boost too.
It
Like
does.
6'4".
Yeah, you're gonna feel
It's like an impulse.
you're gonna feel more security in your shoe, and then also the fatigue starts way later. So you're gonna have movement without pain that is more efficient, and then that's why you're gonna have less fatigue and also less risk of injuries on top of that. Yeah.
Yeah, I like
I
that.
can't guarantee you for your shoulder, but everything that's happening lower, we're for sure gonna have optimized movement for you.
Adam said everything is from the ground up.
It is,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Start
Yeah.
with the feet.
Right.
Yeah.
Start with the feet.
Now you guys said it in German, bro.
Sehr gut.
Sehr gut. Guten Tag.
Good.
All right. So let's try the cleat.
Yeah, is that nice, bro?
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah, it gives you a nice little lateral hold, so your feet are in place, and then we're gonna have a nice little pressure distribution on the metatarsals. So on top of that, we have the toe support that gives you a little bit more proprioception, better feel to the floor. This guy, I fixed him so he can play soccer again.
I told him. It's been 14 months for me, and I've had like literally no issues.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he did Jalen's too. Jalen Johnson.
There's a little bit of getting used to it, but after 1 or 2 weeks, you're completely fine.
I don't be really having to break stuff in because I don't know, my feet just kind of go with it. So they don't feel like so feel uncomfortable.
Yeah. We do have that ball that you can roll out your feet. If you have a hard day where you're on your feet all day.
Try it. You're gonna be on the field this week, right?
No, I went today, but I could just feel it. It got like you said, it mold my foot to where
That's the whole point of it. To mold around your feet.
because it's not flat. It's not like the soles are flat.
So you see how these are flat? See these are they're literally flat, bro. They have this little arch area, but that's it. Besides that, there's nothing else.
Like I can feel this and this.
More support.
So I got like a grip.
Yeah.
Got like a grip on
Throw that shit out.
Yeah, and then like I said, you can always roll out your feet and do some other exercises with that ball.
This the one I use when I come in.
Yeah.
Take that with. That's yours.
Yeah, that's
Oh
yours.
yeah, appreciate you. My God.
I got you.
Take care of your feet.
Yeah.
Starts at the bottom.
Now next time we're in Germany with them, bro.
Yeah, dude, I'm always down.
He's always.
We gotta go to Cologne.
I'm down.
I got family there, man. So, hey.
We'll show you a good time.
I'm gonna show you a good time.
You guys gonna show me a good time? You guys know who you're talking to, man.
All right, awesome.
But Flo, for his regular walking shoes, you recommend him wearing it for like 2 weeks, right?
What do you
Like,
mean?
remember how you always say for 2 weeks you'll start noticing like difference within 2
So
weeks?
there's it varies. So
Yeah.
some people need a time to get used to it,
Yeah.
you know. So they need like a 2 week period where they put in the orthotics, then they start to get uncomfortable, so they put in the regular insoles
Yeah.
again, and then
Yeah.
do it again all over the next day. But most people are getting used to it pretty fast. I always say if there's still any problems, or like the time period of like 2 weeks is over, then just come back in and clarify everything. Yeah.
Okay. I see the middle.
Not yet.
That's
I
great.
don't even feel the middle. I feel the back and the front more say.
Yeah.
That's
It's gonna
dope.
lock in your.
No, yeah, that's what I felt. It gets secure
it's
to where
not
it's
locking
like
in.
stable. And when I get off the brakes,
Yeah, and if you wanted to in Germany, if like other people are interested or whatever, my brother does the same thing in Germany, so you would have access to it if you wanted to. So
Yeah, his brother's in Germany, so.
bet. Where at?
in Stuttgart, but
Oh, okay,
I mean,
yeah, I remember.
we have family in Cologne too, so
Man, that's dope. Hold on.
When are you leaving?
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning?
Yeah. Let me see what I'm talking about. Put these on.
I'll put the old ones in here, so if anything.
I would just wear those for now. Just get comfortable.
Yeah.
Bro.
And then I just gotta put them in my other shoes.
Yeah, every time you change shoe, just take it out, put on the other one.
Bet.
Pedics,
Yeah.
orthotics.
Yeah.
Where did it start and originate? That's what I'm
Okay,
interested
so
in.
I'm actually the 5th generation already that does orthopedic shoemaking.
Yeah.
My dad was winning awards in Germany even for having the best education with his masters and with his trade schooling. So for me, it was just, to be honest, the easiest way because it was in the family and my dad had his own business. But I found the passion mostly for the orthotics, and then obviously through me playing soccer for the sports. And I did think, and I do think that the traditional orthotics that you guys know from podiatrists and whatever, they're rigid, they limit your movement, and that was just a thing that I didn't agree with. And thank God in Germany we had something called sensory motor orthotics.
Mm-hmm.
They've been around for like over 25 years over there, so they're proven. And there's a lot of studies on them, and they actually, instead of limiting movement, they leave freedom of movement to every joint. But because we trigger the sensory motor system, so the nervous system, we trigger to have a reaction to your feet. So you can kind of imagine it like a feedback loop. So if I'm just standing there and I'm not doing nothing really comes from the nervous system to tell me different, right? Mm-hmm. But let's say I'm walking, that's also pretty consistent. You don't get that much feedback from that. But let's say I'm stepping on something pointy, or I'm stepping on, like something hot, then my nervous system gets an instant reaction. So the sensory part goes up to the nervous system, mm-hmm. and we get an instant reaction that we're like just trying to get away from that little pain or what it is. And that's what the orthotics do. So we're interfering in that feedback loop. So the feedback loop is you walking regularly, but we're putting an interference that will force a motor reaction. And that's how the orthotics work. And so that's why for athletes that have misalignments, that I think the most important part is always to have a straight calcaneus, aligned heel bone, and that's the foundation of foot health. And so we're looking at alignment, we're looking at movement, and we're trying to optimize that. And obviously that's only possible with the terminal that we have, because if you're just stepping into foam, or if you just have a measurement that's static, you have no idea how that patient walks. Yeah. So you have zero idea from the dynamic. And that's why I do think we're the only ones to do it that way in the United States, and we're the first ones to do the sensory motor orthotics. That's why for every sports medicine doctor or for facilities like you guys have, it's a must-have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that playing to a part with the materials? Like, are you using a certain material that will give you that feedback?
it's obviously a certain material that does give you a little bit of a cushioning, but it has to have the
Ground reaction?
Yeah, it has to
Still.
have enough stiffness to give you the input, right? Like if you only have soft,
Right.
you basically just push the soft away.
Right.
So you need to have a little bit of a firm material that is still cushioning, and we, as you know, we can also cushion certain areas of the orthotics. And so, yeah, I mean, for me, it would be interesting to know what you guys' reactions from your clients were so far.
Yeah. So far, we've had great feedback. The one thing is they always say is, with yours compared to another custom insole, it's a little softer. So usually custom insoles are really hard. And I've noticed like our players, they'll play in them even, but they even more so like the ones that they walk in.
Yeah.
They're like, wow, I can actually walk in this the whole day without having pain.
I mean, ours
Which is
are
great.
custom made too. You're just comparing to the traditional way where it's really rigid from the podiatrist, and we just want to stimulate movement, right?
Right.
And that's exactly the opposite what the traditional orthotics do. They
Right.
just limit movement,
Right.
and so that's the big.
Well, they're just
difference.
trying to put you in a position.
Exactly.
But your brain doesn't transition well because it's almost like
It's a brace.
negative feedback.
It's
Yeah.
a brace.
Right.
And then just imagine, like if you ever had a cast, right? And then the cast came off, how much muscle mass did you lose,
You
right?
lost a bunch.
And
Atrophy.
that's the same thing. If you cast your foot with that
Right.
orthotic,
Right.
your muscles have to work less, and then you depend on those orthotics,
Right.
which is exactly
Like
the
all the
opposite that we
ancillary
want.
muscles start turning
Yeah.
off.
Yeah.
Is what you're saying.
Yeah.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mean,
it's
So
pretty
the
genius.
big trend right now is the barefoot shoes, right?
Of course.
And there's a place for that, and I love being barefoot, especially if it's in sand, because that's when you have the neurofeedback that
Yes.
your feet really
Right.
have to work.
Right.
But if you are misaligned and you already have problems, and then out of a sudden you're barefoot,
Barefoot,
that's
yeah.
that's gonna be counterproductive.
Right.
And so
A lot of people get back problems, knee problems, because they go from like having a shelf to having a zero shoe.
Exactly.
It's like you don't have any protection.
yeah, and if you're in the gym and wear them for an hour, that's totally fine too.
Right.
Like it's good to be barefoot. But if you feel like you should be barefoot your whole day, that's only possible if you have the strength of a lion in your feet.
Right, absolutely.
You really have to watch out how to implement those barefoot shoes.
Yeah, I mean you got to train yourself to go in stages. You can't
Exactly.
just go from
Exactly.
having a big,
Yeah.
heel to having that.
Yeah, a lot of times it creates even
know.
more problems.
Yeah, like I've noticed a lot of customers that say, "Yeah, I just got this barefoot shoe," and I'm like, "How do you like it?" Well, my back kind of hurts more, or my toes hurt more, or you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So it's like a response that you don't necessarily want.
Yeah, and you need to be ready for it. I mean, if you've never hit the gym and then you go and work out 3 hours a day every day, like you're gonna be destroying your
Right.
body for the first time.
Yeah.
You need to work slowly towards it.
What I noticed, the most thing that I like about barefoot shoes is there's less restriction in the toe box.
Yeah,
And so like for that it's cool if we're not like moving around a lot, but if you're gonna walk all day in it,
yeah,
I see no purpose for it.
yeah,
But in the training room for an hour, 2 hours, fine.
yeah.
I just don't see why this is not implemented and just get a bigger shoe, switch out the insole. Now we have a perfect training shoe.
I mean, what I can tell you about this is I get the scans of the foot and I also get the scans of the insoles. And it barely happens that the shoe is actually too small for the patient.
Right.
So like I'll always put the insole scan over the foot scan
That's
that
what
I
I love
got,
about it so
and
much.
so I even give feedback if I have a client or you have a client and you send me the measurements.
Mm-hmm.
I give you feedback. Hey, this person should wear bigger shoes because the toes are
Absolutely.
actually a little smushed and so like it's. There's always ways and always things that are good for you, but if you overdo them, then
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes with everything in life.
Yeah,
Like everything's got to
exactly.
be balanced
Yeah.
and done in stages. And I don't think anybody can get around it.
Yeah.
Anything in life and with that demeanor.
Yeah, I
You
mean,
know?
look at your clients that come in and work out, and you see certain problems, you analyze them. It takes time to fix them, especially
Yeah.
if they're
Absolutely.
working with those problems for years and years and years. And with those athletes, that's the point, right? Like,
Yeah.
how many times do you have an injury and
Yeah.
you just have to freaking
Yeah.
play with it and deal with it, and then you get stuck with it. You know.
Yeah, I get a lot of times after the season, the players say, I want to let's hit weights. I need to get stronger, get bigger. I'm like, well, first you need like 2 or 3 weeks of rest. Then we'll start fine tuning your body, so we line it up the right way, and then we can do all the fun stuff that you want to do. But without doing those things, just like this, like it's an accident waiting to happen. Right?
And it's always a combination of multiple things. Like I wouldn't say my orthotics are healing the world. You know, like without the patient and without your input as a trainer, like you can wear those orthotics all day. You know, like you're not gonna have the effects that somebody has that does the work on their own, that have the trainer and the access to massages and all that stuff.
Yeah.
And then on top the orthotics that give you just that little extra 10%. You know, and so that's what it is.
Yeah. I also like to hear Darrius's feedback because, like, you know, getting in a different shoe. Some players are very like superstitious about like I gotta wear this shoe and I gotta wear this shoe. Mm-hmm. Like, how do you feel about like transitioning to something that's unknown? Like, you haven't ever seen anything like that before.
So for me, it wouldn't be the shoe, like you said, the shoe. Like if it's the same shoe, then I'm like comfortable, but the insole would be different.
Yeah.
So that and just the process of like how this one was made. Like I've had like other insoles made, but the process is different. Like they have you stand into something or like with a sock, and it'll mold to your foot.
Right. Mm-hmm.
But it's just to fit your foot.
Right.
It doesn't like these are to adjust and straighten your feet or like hold you in a specific position of power. So like the process of these being made versus other ones is like one is made just to fit your foot and these are made to like fit and correct your foot.
Right.
So it feels comfortable in that sense because it's like, oh, it's like it fits my foot and it's like holding it and adjusting it, like you said, the heel to where it's more secure and gives me more of a balanced base. But for sure, it is something interesting because it's like I've never played or wore them like consistently. So this would be something that for me, I would be able to notice and feel the difference because it's something I haven't done at all throughout my playing career.
Amazing.
And the analyzing part of the dynamics, that's just, you know, like probably for him, but also the first time that somebody ever analyzed that.
Right. Yeah, I think like the analytics are, you know, the proof in the pudding, right?
Yeah.
It's like we're not just molding a foot, like we're really showing your imbalances and on the machine.
Exactly.
And then you can actually see it in your brain like, oh, this is why we're putting this type of insole instead of this type of insole, so that your performance is drastically improved, right? So I just think that's
an insole that's to fit your foot.
Yeah.
Right. I just think it, like you said, it limits movement. So like this one actually makes your performance stand out because and you'll have no pain at the same time.
Yeah.
It's because of all the analytics that go into it, rather than just molding something.
And it kind of feels like the bottom is a little like more, how do you say, springy, because it's kind of hard. So like as a DB, when you're breaking in that position, the whole shoe isn't bending. It's kind of your foot popping.
Yeah.
So it kind of gives like a little pop to where it'll make you move faster than the whole shoe bending your whole foot. Like we talked about, whole foot hitting the ground while you're running.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I think there's so many great things about
100%.
about these. I haven't found one instance where somebody was not impressed or found better performance or found pain. Yeah, like pain relief.
Yeah.
There's just so much stuff that goes into it that I like. So we'll really start to track all these athletes over time. Like we just started 6 months ago.
Yeah.
So I'd love for you to come back in like 6 more months, you know, after the summer, and all these guys kind of try it out.
Yeah.
And then we'll get more of a mass study behind it.
Yeah. I mean that's a great thing because we have the data, and for example, if we run him through the whole assessment again on the terminal when he's coming back after he was in Germany, we can exactly see, hey, what got better, what got worse. Whereas hopefully nothing, but like what got better, what do we still need to tune to make it even more better? And so that's the part where the data is great for the patient to visualize it, to see their progress, and then for you to control your own treatments, right?
Absolutely. That's what it's all about in the end, right?
Yeah, 100%.
Is trying to find all the underlying weaknesses and then make those strengths.
I mean, and
know?
you're the one to understand it the best. Like you probably the first one to really start gathering the data from all of your workouts.
From
That
day
you,
one.
like that's your biggest value that you always told me is your data that you have over how many years, you know?
Absolutely, yeah, and that will continue to drive my business.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like once you have those data points, what do they say? If it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Yeah.
Like, so over time, I found these supplemental workouts to put into my strength systems and things. And once I had it just right, I'm like, okay, that's it for everybody. And let me see what it looks like on like a huge scale.
Yeah.
And once I did that and I had no injuries, right, in 10 years,
Yeah.
like, you know, the proof is there.
Yeah.
And so that's kind of like,
How much
you know,
did-
even with your stuff.
How
it's
much
the same.
did technology in general, not just the pace thermal, but the Proteus and everything, how much did the technology change everything for you?
Well, it got me faster results.
Yeah.
So, which is amazing. Everybody wants fast. Everybody wants their results
Yeah.
tomorrow, right?
Yeah.
So with the Proteus though, we're having those assessments month over month, and I'm noticing my programs usually take about 3 months to where you really see like guarantee results, and now that's come down to a month and a half.
That's insane. 50%
So it's taking
cut.
it back, yeah.
Yeah.
So now I can get quicker periodizations
Mhm.
while using different technology, and I think that's where the benefit comes in with Pedics and where it comes in with Proteus, and all the different technology that we do use
Yeah.
is like, okay, we can do this over time, and our programs are just going to keep continuing to get better and better and better and elevating all of our guys, and that's what it's really all about is
100%.
healing people and helping them perform better,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, you guys have athletes here mostly, but I mean, there's also the average Joe that just doesn't want to just walk one block. He wants to walk 3 blocks without
Right.
having problems, right?
Exactly.
And that's the same thing. Like the moment he starts moving, he's an athlete in a different way that we are, right? But like,
Absolutely.
he's an athlete still because he's active. And so whatever you can do to improve anybody's life with that, that's the goal for all of us.
Yes.
Yeah.
Drop the mic.
So,
We know.